Okay, I'll come straight to the point. This is the most underrated flagship of 2024. So today we are launching a flagship phone, compact form factor, and the best pineapple phone ever. Here, have a look. Try.
Too expensive.
Turn it around, that side. And no notch.
Still too expensive.
Okay, don't tell anyone. We'll give all the features to the previous year flagship and we'll also launch it cheaper in the sale. Go get that.
What?
Don't tell anyone. Yes, this is Samsung S23. In 2023, it launched for 75,000, but what got our attention was, after the recent Galaxy AI update, S23 is basically S24. I'll not show you the phone, there's a reason for it. And even better, the time of making this video, we got the S23 under 45,000. So the question that has to be asked is, in 2024, should you buy the S23? And what are the differences in AI features? And what about OnePlus 12R, which you can get for 40,000?
What about it?
Well, yes, how to get the offer, what to buy. This is what the video is about. We have been using the S23 for a while now. I'm very excited. Let's go. Now, why is S23 such an iconic device? See, when you go back in history, S22 launched with Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 in 2022 that had heating issues and a lot of battery drain. Then came S23 in 2023 with Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, which was pretty good. And then again in 2024, S24 came with Exynos, and you might know a lot about Exynos. So this makes S23 very iconic and it's aging like a fine wine. Cheers. So the moment I switched to the S23, this compact size felt so good, and in 2024, getting a compact phone is like a rare thing. Companies have just stopped making it. Like in terms of design, hold on. Now you guys spot out which is the S24 and which is S23. Come on, go ahead. Those who spotted it, congrats, you have an eagle's eye. So the one I'm holding on the left is the S23 and the one I'm holding on the right is the S24. The design here looks quite similar. Like the S23 has a glass pack, a metal frame, and good thing is it has Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2 protection, which for 40,000 is actually good. Now we know the S23 has a good display here. And for your reference, these are the display specs. The S24 is slightly brighter in terms of specs, but if you open an HDR movie on Netflix, side by side with the S24 and OnePlus 12R, I mean, look for yourself. I can hardly see any difference. Why, you may ask? Because this is the peak brightness of all the three phones. Well, boys and girls, brightness is of three types. One is manual brightness, where you manually move the slider and the display goes to maximum brightness. Second is HBM or high brightness mode, which is what you get when you take the display outdoor in sunlight. And third is peak brightness, where 1 pixel in the middle of the screen in some HDR scene goes up to 4500 nits for just 1 second, and voila, there you get peak brightness nits. So irrespective of whatever smartphone companies say, check for high brightness mode nits, that's it. One con I feel for the S23 display is at night in low light, if you see at lower brightness, the OnePlus 12R doesn't flicker, whereas the S23 does. So that is one aspect where S23 lacks, and it's high time Samsung and both iPhones should implement anti-flickering in their display. So from a build, design and display perspective, the S23 is as good as any other flagship in 2024. Now you might have this question that build, display and all is fine, Pratik. What about the performance? Well, you get these specs, and here's something interesting I noticed in Antutu benchmarking. Earlier we got a score of 11 lakhs and now we are getting 14.7 lakhs. Like very interesting, the Antutu score increased after the One UI 6.1 update. But again, benchmarks and graphs don't tell you how the phone actually performs in real life. Like a lot of people these days use phones to edit their videos. Like see here side by side with the OnePlus 12R, which falls in the same price range. We have the same 4K video, added a color grade and an overlay. And when I'm exporting the video, see the S23 does it faster than the OnePlus 12R. And we did this test multiple times and the result is same. And of course, I'm a YouTuber. We'll play games to check performance. On the S23, you can play Call of Duty at medium graphics at an ultra frame rate or 120 FPS. And we played for 40 minutes. The phone does get a bit warm. And this is bound to happen here because compact phones generally have less area to spread the heat, so they get warm. Well, the gameplay was smooth and all, but the problem here is for playing games, phone doesn't actually fit in my hands for 4-finger. So you can do all those creative day-to-day tasks. For that, this is very good. But for hardcore gaming, maybe getting the OnePlus 12R or the Realme GT6 might be a better deal. So in performance, as per 2024 standard, it does perform quite well. Okay, so coming to the most important part, cameras. You get a 50 megapixel main camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera and a 10 megapixel 3x telephoto camera, and the photos from it come out so poppy. We also took some photos side by side with the OnePlus 12R, and as you can see, the details and clarity is almost the same, but the S23 most of the times has better skin tone. Also in this photo, if you look below the chin to my t-shirt and my pant, there is a good amount of gradual blur, and the photo looks like it is taken on a DSLR. It takes very good pictures here, like the light control, sharpness and colors are very good. Plus, we have seen a lot of our hashtag Team TechWiser Janta asking us to show the phone's camera performance in social media apps. So see here side by side with the OnePlus 12R, I take a video on Instagram stories because a lot of us just shoot inside Instagram app. And if you see the result now, the video on the S24 is a lot more stable than what you get in the OnePlus 12R. So on S23, the camera app inside Instagram supports stabilization, HDR and even night mode. Also, see if I open the camera app, you can switch between ultra wide angle lens, main camera, 3x camera, and the pictures inside the Instagram camera app also look good. The point here is very few Android apps work good with social media apps like Snapchat and Instagram. Samsung is one of them. Now, in terms of videos, you can shoot max at 8K 30 FPS. Also, here's a personal example. We usually shoot shorts and reels on the S23, and it supports portrait mode, and if you can see, it tracks the hand very well and it works in 4K 30 FPS, so it's very hard to distinguish whether you shot on a camera or a smartphone. And the main reason to not shoot on the iPhone is at times when you put an external mic, it would just not register or not even throw an error that the external mic doesn't work. So we just stopped using it, and mostly we use the S23 to shoot most of our reels and shorts. And see in S23, if you put an external mic, every single time it shows a message that you are recording via an external mic. Superb option. On the front, you get a 12 megapixel selfie camera, and the selfies from it again are good. Plus, you can shoot videos on the front in 4K 60 FPS. So the camera on the S23 from a 2024 perspective, it still does a solid job and it is one of the best. And coming to the most interesting part, software. The S23 now runs on the latest Android 14 out of the box. It has gotten the One UI 6.1 update. The One UI 6.1 brings the same Galaxy AI features on the S23 series which were there on the S24. So whenever I'm watching some gadget or reel and I see this amazing gadget, I just press here, do a circle to search, and tada! I can open the Amazon page of the gadget. Also, if you come across some text in English or another language, I can just tap at the bottom pill and tap on the translate icon, boom, done. Also, there is AI on the keyboard as well. And suppose I want to write an email about taking sick leave as I'm unwell. So see here, anywhere in the UI, I just write a basic outline and I tap on this AI icon, and after that it improves the writing and suggests multiple tones like professional, casual, emojify. Very handy feature. So there's a live interpreter mode, and the best part is it works without the internet. So see here, I'll just turn off the internet and we'll go to interpreter mode, and we need help, so we have our Shobik ji. Shobik will speak in Hindi. Show off your Hindi.
नमस्कार देवियों सज्जनों, कैसे हैं आप लोग सब? मेरा नाम है शौभिक.
So Shobik will speak in Hindi, I'll speak in English. Let's try this out. What do you think about India winning the World Cup?
भारत को विश्व कप जीतने के बारे में आप क्या सोचते हैं?
भारत ने इतने सालों के बाद विश्व कप जीता है, इसका मैं खुशी कैसे जाया करूं?
India have won the World Cup after so many years. How can I find happiness? I've done everything with crackers.
Also, there are a bunch of features in the gallery app as well, and let's take a small challenge here. I'll take the same image on the S24 and S23. I'll select the object here, tap on erase, tap on generate, and this is amazing. Both of them give similar output and at the same time. Let's take another difficult image and again do the same, and see, it's the same. So the thing is, just like the S24, the Galaxy AI works as good as on the S23 because all of this runs on the cloud, so it depends on your internet connection. So the point here is, the S23 and S24 have the same exact AI features. The only catch with the S23 series compared to S24 is the update policy. On the S23, you have 4 years of Android updates plus 5 years of security update. On the S24, you will get 7 years of Android updates and security updates. So S23 has already received the Android 14 update, so do note that it will only receive 3 more Android OS updates, meaning it will go only until Android 17. Another thing when compared to S24 is the S24 has support for 45-watt charging, whereas the S23 only supports 25-watt charging. So what's the conclusion here? Should you buy the S23 in 2024 at the discounted price? In my opinion, yes. In all aspects like camera, battery, performance, etc., the S23 is as good as the S24. And now with the Galaxy S23 getting the Galaxy AI features, makes it the most underrated flagship smartphone of 2024. As well as the price of the S23 often went as low as 40,000. Even now, we went to the offline store, you get a better deal with some bundled offer. Like one of my friend bought the 256GB variant of S23 at 49,000, and since they have a corporate ID, he got the accidental damage and liquid protection for 12 months for free, and they also added some loyalty bonus, etc. So if you belong to that small percentage of compact smartphone user, or if you're someone who has begun content creation and wants an upgrade, then you can consider the S23. But if you're a heavy user and need bigger battery life, or if you want just a relatively bigger phone, then you can consider the OnePlus 12R. Also, there are some discounts on OnePlus 12, which you get around 50,000. You can even consider that. And if you're using an S23, drop down your experience. We'll pin it and it will be useful for other Team TechWiser members. On that note, Pratik signing off. See you in the next video. Pew, pew, pew.